What is up, everybody? Man, it feels so weird to do that again after so long. But at the same time, it feels right. But anyway, so I've been gone a little while, as you guys might have noticed. Some of you might have noticed. But I just wanted to make this video to let you guys know that I am back. I will be back to making regular content again. I'm very excited. I feel really good about this. Like, after being away for so long, I was expecting everybody to just unsub. But I noticed, like, I was keeping an eye on things here and there while I've been gone. While I was on taking my break, I guess. And I noticed I was actually gaining subs. I was kind of surprised about that. Like, I gained 3 subscribers, and then I lost 2. The last I checked. So I guess it balanced itself out, I suppose. But I don't know. It doesn't. It's not a big deal to me. The only thing that matters is the people that are still here, that still want to keep watching my content. So that's the most important thing to me in my mind. But anyway, so for anybody that's newer, you guys probably don't really know what's going on. You probably didn't see the last couple videos that I posted about it. But essentially what happened was I needed to have eye surgery. It was an interesting process, I will admit, because a part of my retina in this eye was starting to detach, and over a long period of time, if this went untreated, I could permanently lost my vision. So essentially, he said, okay, you can either get a laser treatment for it or you can get the surgery. Now, he was trying to encourage me to get the surgery because it is a more long-term solution. And so I did that. So I got the surgery, which I guess I could tell you guys a little bit about, because it was an interesting process. Like my whole mindset to the whole thing has been it's been pretty, like I said, a pretty interesting process. I don't really know any other words to put there, but so what happened was, like, the week before the surgery, like, I was talking. Like, I went into the doctor's office to get laser treatment for this eye, because this eye had some tears as well in my retina. So they just did a laser treatment to reinforce those breaks to make sure that what happened with this eye doesn't happen to this eye. So after they did the laser treatment, he asked me again, like, so what are you thinking about the surgery? Like, he did say I could do a laser, because he did kind of take another glance at it to see if, like, he'd like to kind of see what it looked like. And he did say, like, it looks like it's a pretty small detachment. You could probably still do the laser treatment and still hold and be fine with it. But you see, the thing is, when it comes to healthcare, you don't want to gamble on a maybe it'll work out. Like, you want a more definite solution. So that's why I chose the surgery route. Like, I knew in my mind I was probably going to pick the surgery anyway, just because it was the best option. Like, if I had to make the same choice again, I would still go with the surgery, honestly. But yeah, I mean, I didn't feel great going into it, but I'm glad I did it in a sense. But anyway, so I was telling the doctor, okay, I think I'm gonna do the surgery. So then they put me on the phone with this lady that she's the surgical coordinator. She schedules the surgeries, and she wasn't very nice. I'm not gonna lie, because I was sitting there because I was concerned about the risks. As with any person that has to have surgery, you're concerned about the results and what's going to happen long term moving forward. So I was sitting there talking to the lady on the phone, and I was like, well, I just wanted to know, like, kind of like more about the risks of what's going to, if I decide to go the surgery route. And she's sitting there on the phone like, well, with any surgery, there's always risks, like there's death and such and such. Like, she was so condescending and rude, I thought. Like, she was telling me that stuff like I was expected to know it. And the problem is, I haven't had many surgeries in my life. So, of course, I wasn't going to really know a whole lot about that area, of expertise. Having to deal with all kinds of surgeries. It's not something I've been accustomed to in my life. Because, I've been pretty fortunate in my life to be pretty healthy. So I haven't even been to a doctor in years because I haven't needed to. So I've been pretty fortunate in that aspect. So when she was sitting there telling me this stuff, I'm just like, you know what? That's like, I already feel pretty crappy about it. You're not making it any better. But out of the whole association, she was the only person I talked to there. I wasn't very nice. So after I scheduled the surgery and told her about my prescriptions, told her a place where she could send prescriptions for me, I didn't have to deal with her again. So I never have to talk to her or hear her voice ever again. So it's whatever, But anyway, so we get to surgery day. I go in. It's about 8 in the morning because they want to be there at 8:30 a.m. About an hour and a half before you go into the surgery. They want you there early to prep, essentially, and do paperwork. So I had to fill out some forms and sign some stuff. I even had to sign a form to give them permission to resuscitate me if I stop breathing. So yeah, going into it, I did not feel good. Honestly, I went in there expecting to die. I know how that's so overly dramatic, but the part of me did feel that way. So, but I mean, another part, a big part of me felt like, okay, this is not a big deal. It's a pretty, compared to most surgeries, this is a pretty minor procedure. So, it's not, so going into it, I felt kind of silly and worrying about it. But anyway, so I filled out all the paperwork, and then they got me in. It was about, I think, 9, sometime after 9. And then, so yeah, I had to take my shirt off and put a robe on, and then lay on the bed, because this is what's considered pre-op, where they have to just evaluate everything, check on your vitals and everything, make sure you're doing good. My blood pressure was high because I was freaking out about it. They had to give me, through the IV, they had to give me anxiety medications to get me to calm down. So it was the whole experience was pretty interesting. But anyway, so they had to dilate my pupil. They had to give me 3 or 4 different rounds of eye drops to dilate my pupil. And then the doctor comes in, and he's sitting there. He's kind of, because I kind of read, when I filled out the forms, I read kind of what they were going to be doing. Because they apparently did multiple different things to my eye. They did what's called a vitrectomy. And then they put in, I think, what's called a scleral buckle. I'm not entirely sure what they did. I might have to, the next time I see the doctor, I might have to ask him. Because I am curious to know what he actually did now that it's happened and that it's over and done with. I'm curious to see what he actually did. But yeah, it was the scleral buckle, and then they did a gas injection. There actually is a gas bubble in my eye right now as I'm recording this. So, I could talk a little bit more about that, the reason why that's there in a minute, but I guess I can finish talking about the whole surgery process. So, but yeah, they got me into the OR early. It was 20-30 minutes early. Because the doctor, he was already ready to go, because because there was 6 or 7 different nurses that walked in to introduce, because apparently all these people were in the room when this happened, when the procedure happened. So I was like, holy crap, okay. But yeah, all of them were asking me oh, how'd this happen? And I'm like, you know what, I don't know. Because the doctor was saying, being nearsighted, the retinas are actually longer. because one of the nurses saying like this is not something that should have happened until you're like in your 60s. And I have noticed that because going into the doctor's office, almost everybody there is in like their 60s or 70s, and here I am being in my 20s. So it made that didn't make the whole process much better either, because when you have to deal with this kind of stuff at a younger age, it puts you in that mindset where you feel like there's something wrong with you. That's kind of how I felt through the whole experience. Like having to get the initial exams done to assess like what's going on with my eyes. It just made me feel like there's something wrong with me. But anyway, so yeah, the doctor, he was already like he did like 3 other surgeries before mine, so he was already gassed and ready to go. So that's why they got me in there early. It's crazy. I forgot how quick that anesthesia works, because I've only ever been under anesthesia once in my life. So this was the second time. Because I remember when they were wheeling me into the OR, like that's all I remembered was the doctor saying, "Oh, don't worry, we're gonna take good care of you." And then I remember waking up back in the pre-op. After it was like 4 hours later. So yeah, it was. I forgot how quick that stuff works. But anyway. Yeah, the beauty of it was I didn't have to stay overnight. Like, I could go home the same day. It's just I had to wear an eye patch over my eye. Like, I do have some pictures I could show you. Like, here's a picture right here where this was after the surgery. I had my stepdad take it to kind of show that, hey, because it's mainly to show my friends, like, hey, I'm okay. It went well. So, but yeah, that eye patch I had to wear for a whole week. Because the doctor said he didn't want me. He wanted me to wear it at night, so that way I don't hit my eye on something. I can understand why. Like I could talk a little bit in a second why that is, but because I do kind of know why he said that now, why I had to wear that. But anyway, so after the surgery, that was probably the hardest part. That was the worst part of it. That's always the worst part of it, is after the surgery, like during the recovery and healing process. So, the next set of pictures here, I can show you guys. This was 2 days after the surgery. As you can see, the swelling was just so bad. That was honestly the worst part of it, was just the swelling. Like, that was where most of the pain came from, was just the swelling. Because I had to take there's like these sterile eye drops I had to take for 4 times a day for a week, for literally like 2 weeks. And so that was to help reduce like inflammation and help prevent infections and stuff. But the first few days having to take those eye drops, it was just so bad, because I had to pretty much set like a pretty strict schedule for myself for these eye drops. So I was waking up at 9 a.m. to start the eye drops, and I had to do them 4 times a day, and then I was doing them until in the evening. But yeah, considering the swelling was so bad, like I couldn't even see anything. Because I remember because I kept missing my eye most of the time. And then there was one occasion where I knocked them into the sink. Like I was just so miserable. But once the swelling cleared, went mostly down after the first few days, it was mostly gone. But honestly, these pictures here, that was probably the worst of it. So then a week passes. So here's another set of pictures. This was a week after. As you can see, the swelling was pretty much gone. And my eye wasn't as red as it was. So, yeah, after the first week, it wasn't as bad. Because I know the first week was the worst part of it. But after that, it wasn't too bad. Like, everything mostly healed up. And then the doctor told me I didn't have to take the eye drops anymore after that, so. Which was nice. Because having to wake up and do that every morning. Like, it was just horrible. Like, I hated having to do that. But anyway, so now up to this point in this video, this is where we're at now. As you can see, like, the swelling is pretty, I don't know how well you guys can see it because the glare of my glasses, but the swelling is pretty much gone. Like, it's completely gone now. My eye still is a little red, though. I don't know if you guys can really tell. I mean, I can kind of, looking at the camera here, I can kind of see it a little. Kind of see it a little bit. Yeah, it does look a little bit redder than this side. So yeah, it is still a little red there. See, the problem is, because remember when I was saying they did inject a gas bubble in my eye? It's still there. So, because that's the main annoyance that I'm facing right now. Like, everything else is fine. But, it's this gas, because this gas bubble is pretty much occupying the majority. Because when I last saw the doctor, he said that the gas bubble is roughly taking up 30% of my eye. So it's one of the most frustrating feelings I've ever felt in my life. I guess the best way to describe it is like if you go swimming, and you're wearing like goggles or something, and you get like a drop of water in there. That's kind of what it feels like. It's this packet of water in your eye that you can't clear out. It's just so frustrating. And it's annoying because, like he said, oh, it could be another like 2 to 4 weeks before it goes away, because the clear fluids will eventually force it out, and then it won't be there anymore. So that's the main problem with this. Is why this is different from traditional surgeries, because even after you heal up, you're still not fully recovered, because you still gotta wait for the gas bubble to go away in order for your vision to fully come back. Because that's the thing, my vision is not entirely back in this eye. It's very cloudy. It's like looking through a dirty window. Like, you know, it's so foggy and streaky and stuff. That's the best way to describe it, honestly. But yeah, this whole ordeal, it's a whole month-long process of recovery, which is frustrating. So yeah, this whole ordeal has just not been fun. This is not something I would wish on anybody, but like I said earlier in the video, if I had to make the same choice again, I would still do it. I would still do the surgery because it's honestly the best, like I said, it's the best option. But yeah, anyway, so I do kind of understand why he wanted me to wear that eye shield now for the first week. Because I remember one night, because the whole thing has made like my eye like really itchy, like itchier than it normally is. So I remember one night when I had to rub my eye, I noticed that the eye is very squishy. It's a lot squishier than this eye. That's because probably when they had to make an incision to cut my eye open, obviously that probably drained out some of the fluids. So yeah, I can understand why he wanted me to wear that eye shield now, because I could probably severely damage my eye if I didn't wear it, just until the fluids come back. So yeah, right now most of my eye is being occupied by that gas bubble. So it's really annoying. But anyway, I think that's pretty much the whole experience up until now. It hasn't been fun. Well, surgery in general is never fun, but you know, usually after the whole process is done, usually it's worth it. But anyway, with that being said, since my vision hasn't fully come back yet, I can't really do a lot of games with high visuals right now. So I'm gonna have to probably stick with those text-based games that I've been playing. So pretty much I'm going to be going right back into what I've been doing, which is whatever. But you know, once my vision comes back and I can finally get new glasses again, you know, like I can finally get new glasses, because I've throughout the whole thing was, the whole purpose of this was to get new glasses, and I still haven't got new glasses. It's frustrating. But once my vision comes back and I can finally get new glasses, then I will be back into doing different stuff again. But yeah, I'm really excited to get back into it, because I have missed doing YouTube for a while. But you know, obviously, you know, health comes first, so I had to make sure that I was capable of making videos, you know. Needed to make sure that I was okay first before I can continue doing videos. But anyway, so I'm excited to get back into it. Hopefully you guys are too. And again, thank you guys to those of you that still stuck around throughout this whole thing. It really mean, like, I know I keep saying it, but you know, it does mean a lot that you guys are still here and watching my stuff. So yeah, thank you for that again. And yeah, I will be back to making my regular schedule next week. It should be good. I feel really good. Like, I feel much better than I did. So hopefully it'll show in my videos moving forward. So, but anyway, that's going to be it for this video. Thank you all for watching, and I'll be talking to you all here again real soon. All right, you guys have a good one.